The stadium lights were still warming to their full glow when the sound hit, an eruption so loud, so sudden, that even the cameras shook. No one knew exactly what was coming, but every single person in the arena felt it in their chest. Something unforgettable was about to happen. A Japan-Korea game always carried weight, but tonight felt different. Tonight felt historic. For a moment, silence blanketed the field, thick as fog, hanging over the players like a challenge from destiny itself. The first pitch hadn't even been thrown, yet the air was alive with electricity, brimming with the tension of decades of rivalry. And somewhere in the dugout, a young pitcher, calm, composed, almost eerily silent, tightened his glove. His name was Sotani, and before the night ended, the world would learn it by heart. As he stepped onto the mound, the crowd didn't roar, they inhaled. As if every lung in the stadium drew a single breath at the exact same moment. Fans from both sides leaned forward, phones raised, hearts pounding, waiting for whatever came next. Then came the first pitch. A laser. A whisper. A strike. The Korean batter didn't swing. He couldn't. It wasn't a pitch, it was a statement, sharp, precise, cold enough to cut through steel. The catcher nodded as if he'd expected nothing less. Sotani walked off the mound after that inning as if he were strolling through a quiet park, not staring down one of Asia's fiercest lineups. What followed almost made time feel unreal. 3 innings, 9 batters, 27 perfect outs in the making if he had stayed longer. Not a single runner reached, not a single moment of hesitation crossed his eyes. It wasn't dominance, it was artistry. Controlled, effortless, terrifying artistry. Every pitch felt like a secret only he and the baseball understood. Every strike felt like a warning, Japan had awakened. And as the team jogged toward the dugout after that third perfect inning, the crowd finally exhaled. Not because the pressure was gone, because something even bigger was coming. The fourth inning began with a quiet murmur. But standing at the plate was someone who didn't believe in quiet moments. Someone who didn't believe in soft swings or gentle outcomes. Kishida tapped his bat twice, stared down the pitcher, and waited. The Korean pitcher wound up. The stadium hushed again. Then crack. It wasn't just the sound of a baseball meeting wood. It was the sound of momentum fracturing, the sound of fear rushing into the opposing dugout, the sound of fate deciding which side it favored tonight. The ball soared into the night sky, rising higher, higher, impossibly high, until the outfielders stopped running because they already knew. A 3-run homer. The kind that doesn't just change a game, it changes energy, emotion, belief. It was more than a hit, it was ignition. And once Japan caught fire, they did not stop. 11 runs. 11 moments where Korea felt the weight of every swing, every pitch, every mistake amplified into something bigger than sport. 11 reasons the stadium became a thunderstorm of cheers, chants, and disbelief. Every run was its own story, its own burst of adrenaline, its own shockwave. Japan didn't just score. They dismantled, they outthought, they outsprinted, they outdreamed. And each time a runner crossed the plate, you could feel history shaking, because with every step, Japan moved closer to something monumental. 10 straight victories in the legendary rivalry. 10 straight. Even saying it out loud didn't make it feel real. Rivalries weren't supposed to be this one-sided, not at this level, not with this much pride on the line. But numbers don't lie. Japan had crossed the threshold from competitive to unstoppable. But the beauty of the night wasn't in the score, it was in the emotions swirling beneath it. The relief in the dugout after every tough at-bat. The fire in Sotani's eyes as he watched the offense explode. The stunned quiet on the Korean bench, knowing they were witnessing something they couldn't control. The pride painted across thousands of faces waving flags, chanting names, and living through every heartbeat of the game. By the time the final out settled into the glove, the scoreboard wasn't just a display, it was a monument. A glowing reminder that sometimes, sports deliver nights that feel larger than memory can hold. Nights that people talk about for years, maybe decades. Nights where everything aligns, talent, heart, timing, destiny. The Japanese players jogged toward the mound, their smiles wide, their steps light. 10 straight victories, a perfect pitching performance, a homer that shattered the rhythm of the game, all wrapped into one breathtaking evening. As the crowd roared and flags waved like flames licking at the night sky, one thought echoed everywhere. This wasn't just a win. This was a declaration. A declaration that Japan wasn't simply playing baseball, they were rewriting the story of the rivalry, rewriting expectations, rewriting limits. And they weren't done yet. Not by a long shot. The camera zoomed in on the players' faces, sweat, excitement, disbelief, triumph. And somewhere in that moment, you could feel the truth settling like dust after an explosion. This was the kind of night fans would tell their children about. The kind of night legends are built on. The kind of night where baseball stops being a sport and becomes something unforgettable. And as the stadium lights dimmed and the chants faded into the cold night air, one final thought lingered in the hearts of everyone who witnessed it. If this is what Japan looks like now, the future might be even more terrifying.